Hi guys, my name is Bonnie and I'm a lawyer licensed in Alberta and Ontario. Today we're going to be talking about tips and tricks on how to clear your NCA examinations in the first go. So I'm just going to let you in on a bit of a few secrets which I used and a few tips I used to clear my NCA exams in one go. Definitely, I did not clear my Constitution exam in one go, but the rest of them, thankfully, was cleared in one go. So let's get started. So the first tip would be read the syllabus given on the NCA examination on the website at least 10 to 15 times. Now the syllabus is basically what gives out what is going to be in the examination. So that kind of helps you to revise or to get a gist of what's going to be coming. And I think that should be your holy grail, or, you should just follow it as a roadmap. Especially with criminal law, I think it gives out a lot of more information in the syllabus than any other syllabus, because the other ones are just probably lists of articles or just lists of topics, but criminal law actually gives a good explanation of actus reus, mens rea, and all the other concepts as well. So I feel if I passed my exams in the first go was because I was reading the syllabus constantly and I was following only that and the articles and the books which were given in the syllabus. So that is point number one. Now, coming to point number two is follow the IRAC method, except for foundations exam. So all of you who probably are beginning to give NCAs or have given one do know what an IRAC method is. The IRAC method is issue, rule, analysis, and conclusion. So why we use this method is because it gives a clear-cut explanation to all the answers when we're answering for the NCAs. And why I said don't use it for foundations, because foundations is more of like a essay writing examination. And it's more, you have to explain more things. And I don't think the issue, rule, analysis, conclusion system really works with that. But definitely you can always use, that system on foundations exam as well. But I would advise don't do that. Now, coming to the third one is don't take advantage that it's an open book examination. A lot of people think that just because it's open book, they can just copy paste answers, or they can just write them or type them, because now the exams are online. So you can just type out, paraphrased answers or something. Definitely that's a lot what people have been doing, have been paraphrasing different answers and been typing those. But in the NCAs, what they're looking for is that how you're explaining and using the concepts in the answer. I don't think there's a right or wrong, but they're actually looking for your explanations and how much you've understood the concepts. So definitely don't take advantage of that. And I would say read at least 3 hours or maybe 2 hours a day, and that should get you sorted in every examination, depending on how you're going to give them and how you're gapping them. Or are you giving them all in one go, or are you giving them in certain months? Now, the fourth one is that you really need to practice. So when I was giving the examinations, they were all written. They were before COVID, so they were all written. So I would constantly keep writing my answers, my notes, my everything. I know a lot of people who have had issues with typing. So definitely, if you have problem with typing, because I don't think you can copy paste anything when it comes to the online examinations. So get time yourself when you're typing answers. Even if you look at some practice exams, or if you've given an NC exam before, there's a certain time, like they give you 30 minutes or 20 minutes approximately, which you can use to write your answer. So try giving yourself, timing yourself for 15 minutes or maybe 10 minutes to start with, and you'd probably get more used to it before the examination, and it won't cause you problem on the day of the exam. Now, the next one is make your own mock answers. So if you're taking any classes, or if you have gone online and looked at those practice exams, you definitely have a gist of what's important. So I and my study partner did this. We made mock answers according to the issue, rule, analysis, conclusion system, which is the IRAC method, which really helped us answer, because you're so used to answering the questions you're posing between your study group or answering online that you are finally, you know, when it comes to the examination, it's quite easy for you. And this is exactly what we did with criminal law and with constitution and with administrative law, that you can constantly create answers for different type of questions. And we kept those handwritten notes handy when we had to give the examinations. So this is just an extra tip to do. I know it's a little bit of extra work, but it definitely helps you when you're giving the examination. And then, like I said, study group. So the next point is that it's always good to have a nice study group. Even if it's not a group and it's just two people, it definitely gives you more motivation to study together. To maybe study on the phone. I remember before COVID, I had a study partner who, me and her, used to go to the library. And after that, I used to come back home and study online with another friend who was doing it from India at the time. So it's always good to have a study partner. It keeps you motivated, and then you guys can keep posing each other questions. And it's just easier. So there's a lot of groups on WhatsApp, on Facebook, which have NCA groups, and you can always reach out to people and tell them that, you know what, we're looking for a study partner. Or if you're going through some classes, you might find a study partner there. Now, the next one is question papers. So like mock answers, please go online, purchase them. I know UBC has, if you go into their criminal department website, they have a lot of question and answers, but just make sure that you're not answering something which is out of syllabus. So keep your syllabus handy. Make sure you're answering questions which you think are relevant. Keep yourself up to date when it comes to general issues or bigger case laws happening around, because recently I've heard with NCA examinations, a lot of new cases which have been developed related to the NCAs or related to bar examinations or internationally trained lawyers. They have been posed as questions in the NCA examinations. So definitely keep your general knowledge up to date when it comes to such things. And I think in that, Canly could be your best friend, which is like an online search engine which we use in Canada to find cases and find relevant information. Now, the next one is, again, very, very important. When you're giving an open book examination, and sometimes you want to refer to what you've written before, what notes you were studying, make sure you have your notes or everything well tabbed, or you know where it is, you have your own table of contents or whatever, you know, you need to have a system. Because sometimes it happens that, you know, you want to look for something, you don't have enough time is running out, but you're just ruffling through your papers. So just make sure that you know what where is, and you have a system going on when you're giving your examination or before your examination. And I would say do that like at least 4 days before your exam, because what happens is that, you know, do that 4 days and then try and follow it for the next 4 days before the exam, because sometimes what happens is you do it the night before and you're so stressed that you don't remember the next day. So that is another tip. And the last one would be that don't repeat statements or don't repeat the question in the answer again and again. Like I said, use the IRAC method. Don't keep repeating stuff, because, you know, in traditional ways, like where I did law, it's mostly if you keep repeating it or if you keep extending those, you know, the words and pages, it kind of helps giving you marks. But in these, just make sure that they're actually just looking for your analysis in total. Like they want to see if you can see what the issue is, what the rule applies, what's your analysis, and what conclusion do you give. And definitely do not miss out on the conclusion, even if you have to, you know, put a little bit of portion of your analysis in your conclusion. Just do that, and I think you should be good to go. Definitely another tip is give your constitution and foundation exam together. They're quite overlapping, and constitution uses IRAC method and foundation uses a bit of essay method, so it's kind of easy to prepare them together. So these are a few things which I did to clear my exams in one go. I definitely had a repeat in Constitution, but that was also because I was unwell at the time, so I just couldn't prepare as much as I did for the other exams. And like, it's, you know, this is always a question on the comments. It's 2 hours a day to 3 hours a day is good. But if you're, you know, if you start studying just a month before the exam, then definitely you'd need 7 to 8 hours a day. But if you take 2 months and you're doing 3 hours a week, even a week, or, you know, it totally depends on everybody's preparation skills. Me and my study group did a lot of preparation because at that point we didn't have a job. We weren't doing anything but preparing for the NCAs. A lot of people who have jobs, I would say 1 hour, 2 hours, or 3 hours, whatever you can put in. Definitely reading it again and again gives you most help, and taking classes for it on weekends obviously helps as well. And I know that now there's a lot of tutors in the market who really help you on the weekends, and they give you all the examination notes and, you know, and all that. When I started doing NCA in 2018, there were not a lot of people who would offer notes, and there were not a lot of tutors out there at the time. So this is a good time, you know, you have all the preparation stuff ready and you just have to put in the effort to do it. And let me know in the comments if you guys used any of these tips, or if you want me to make another video on anything or elaborate on the IRAC method or anything at all. Thank you. Bye-bye.